Hey guys, welcome to another guy's garage. Today, we're doing nothing fun. In fact, we're doing maintenance on a snowblower. If you're here for car stuff, let me warn you, this is not the video for you. Go ahead and get out now. Give me a thumbs up for sending you on your way. This video is all about snowblowers. Sorry. These single stage snowblowers are supposed to be self-propelled. The auger keeps them moving. This one's not. It's still throwing snow, but the auger's not pulling it along. It is no longer self-propelled, which means I have to push it, and I don't like to do extra work. Today, we're changing the auger on a Briggs and Stratton 1022 ER. It's probably applicable to most Toros and other brands out there. It's very similar. It's got a rubber auger and a scraper bar. Let's get into it. Before we get started, let's make sure we have it off. I've actually labeled it off. And just to make sure we keep all our fingers, let's unplug the spark plug wire. We'll just put that there. Now she's safe. All right, so we're looking at the front of the chute. These things are pretty simple. This is basically a piece of rubber. It's bolted onto the shaft that spins around, and this is what throws your snow. You can tell right now it's not engaged. You can also tell this one has a wear indicator. And see that arrow? We're a little bit past the wear indicator. I'm past that line. I knew I was getting close, but now that that's gone, this thing does not pull itself anymore. It's barely making contact to the ground. It's almost as if the engineers knew that when it got to that line, it wasn't going to work right. So let's get it fixed. It'll almost work like it's new. I bought this kit on Amazon. It's not a Briggs and Stratton kit, but it comes with the scraper bar, the metal piece, and the plastic piece. It comes with replacement auger. You can see on this one, it does not say where the wear mark is, so we'll just have to make note. I'll leave the kit number in the description. And it also comes with all the hardware, including the little spacers that you're going to need to make sure that you don't put the screws through this piece of rubber. Let's get to it. On the original Briggs and Stratton hardware, they used a Torx head. This happens to be a T30. I don't know why. I'm sure it made sense to somebody. It's turning, but it is tight. Why don't we do this? Why don't we make our lives easier? I'm going to spray this with a little bit of my favorite penetrating lube. That's right. Not a sponsor. But bust your nuts, not your knuckles. Give her a little squirt. I'll squirt on all this stuff. Probably should have sprayed this stuff yesterday. Oh yeah, that's better. Here's a T30. Let's work smarter, not harder. Well, these four came out. Woohoo! Make note of this plate. See how this goes on here? These are both on this side. One side of the plate is threaded. The other side of the plate is not. This is threaded. This is how it goes on. Now would also be a good time to get out the old smartphone and take a couple pictures. Better yet, you know that wax crayon in your dad's toolbox you really don't know what it's for? This thing's probably as old as I am. Let's mark it. Out. Out. Lucky for me, these are all the same size. But I'm still going to separate the ones that were used on the outside from the ones that were used in the middle. There's one, and you can see the little metal inserts in each one of these. We can either reuse these, or we can use the ones that came in the kit. Well, before I take the other one off, and I'm doing this so I don't forget how it goes on there, I'm going to go ahead and take the scraper bar off. The reason I'm doing that is I still have one I can look at, see how it goes on there. I've only taken one off. I could do the scraper bar. It gives me full access now. They don't have these in the way. So I'm going to take this apart now, and then I'll come back to this. And it looks like instead of a Torx, they use down heads. And there's a nut on the bottom. I'll get you in here so you can see it. So in my particular model, these bottom nuts are an 11 millimeter. And the top is a 4 millimeter hex wrench. These side cover screws are a 10 millimeter. So why they couldn't make those bottom nuts a 10 millimeter, just like the other ones, they had to use an 11 millimeter? I'm sure it made sense to somebody. These bolts here, also a 10 millimeter. Again, why 11? I don't know why. Enough whining. Let's get it apart. Well, that came off pretty easy. Again, pretty easy. We're going to put the new one on just like this. The four nuts to remove the scraper bar are off. Well, that's out. Wow. That thing's kind of shot. Ooh. This is super sharp, folks. Be careful, don't cut yourself. All right, now if you remember how this came off, you know that this piece goes on top, just like that. This piece, just like this, goes on the bottom, and it kind of sandwiches that in there. Do my holes line up? My holes actually line up. I am not going to use the new hardware that came with this kit because it's slightly different. Again, I bought a scraper bar that was kind of generic. I'm going to go ahead and reuse my original hardware because it still looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and get it in. Start by hand. There's one. These are nylock nuts. It's a nylock nut. You can see there's a little nylon piece that keeps it from backing off. You can put a little thread locker on there too if you need. If you think you need it. It's still a lot easier to do this with one of these blades removed. You don't need to crank the snot out of them. Just snug them up. Make sure they're tight. Remember, this scraper bar is just plastic. There. Feels pretty good. And I can feel the tip of the screw coming just through that nut, which means that nylon part is engaged. Engaged. You can make out that scraper bar. See how it sits proud of this metal piece? That other one was so worn down, they were literally on the same plane. Basically, this was rubbing on the ground, and this was completely gone. So now that we got, there, maybe you see that better. Now that we got a brand new one on there, it should glide across the driveway pretty good. Worry about these nuts coming loose? Go ahead and throw some blue Loctite at them. Who remembers how that piece of rubber was on here? I'll give you a hint. It was like this. Let's go ahead and get this on. I did notice that the little spacers for the rubber part, this is an original one, an OEM. It's got a little knurl piece on it. And this is just a spacer. They're the same thickness. I might just go ahead and reuse these. They fit in the new rubber really good. These are a little bit harder to get in. I don't know the reason for this little knurled section in this one versus the smooth on this one, but I'm willing to bet those engineers at Briggs and Stratton knew what they wanted and they chose these. So I'm going to go ahead and reuse these. And they just pop right on out. And then they slide right on in. Easy peasy. This is going to go in like so. Oh, more ice. What's ice falling? In like so. Go ahead and take my hardware from over here. Be careful to not cross thread these and get them started nice and straight. Snug, snug, snug. Oh yeah, look, that looks like it's going to line up. All right, let's get this other one off. All right, now that we got one side in, it would be a really good time to consult that picture you took. Because if you remember, this side with the pattern goes in the back. So this thing's spinning this way. This with the pattern goes in the back. So we need to be careful of the orientation that we put the second auger on. We don't want to put it on this way because it will be backwards. This will be the face. It goes on this way. Like I said, the back of the auger. This part is what makes contact with the snow. Does that make sense? All right, let's snug down this middle section. All right, let's get this other side. Again, make sure you start these by hand with your fingers first so you don't cross thread them. All right. All right. Does this look like the picture we took? The tops of these bolts, smooth side, the threaded side, and the textured side? Yep, sure does. Let's go ahead and tighten it all down. You know it's tight when the skin on your hand starts to come off. You're tight. Now that the middle's tight, let's not forget about the sides. All right, guys, if I look in there, everything clears just fine. It's nice and tight. It'll throw the snow really well. One more tip. I have had really good luck with this stuff. Just spraying her down. It keeps the snow from sticking, especially in the chute. Like I said, I have had really, really good luck. Nice coat of that on there, and the snow just shoots right out of it. All right. Now you can see it's no longer riding on the edge of this housing. It's actually going to be riding on that scraper bar. That scraper bar is there. And this is just a secondary when that scraper bar wears out. So we were probably a little late fixing that. And you can see this rubber seal just kisses the surface when it spins around. That's what moves it forward and gives you that nice clean driveway. So all we have left is to try it out. Don't forget, reconnect your spark plug. If you got anything out of this video, please give me a thumbs up. It really goes a long way. But that's going to wrap it up for the auger replacement on this Briggs and Stratton single stage snowblower. Please like, please subscribe, and as always, I'll see you